This is actually a good spreader because you don't get as good a width on the lime, but it definitely throws the fertilizer a long way. So it won't take us long to do. If I'm going to go solid fertilizer, I should probably look for a spreader that can run narrow tires, just so that once the crops start growing. Though that said, I'm more inclined to lay solid fertilizer at the beginning of the year, just after planting, and do liquid as the later application. I'm not sure if I'll get self-propelled sprayer or not at this point. Probably not this year. That may be something we would like to have, but yeah, the money needs to be spare from everything else that we're buying. I don't think I'll put it in the initial allocation of stuff we're going to buy. We are going to need a harvester. And some grain trailers. I'm going to need a tipper for the truck. Although we could, I don't know, Black Sheep Modding are supposed to be bringing out a MAN, I can't remember, it's 2 or 3 axle truck. I might look into getting one of those for the small jobs. Doing a very good job of this, but you don't have to do 100% of a contract. It just has to be close enough. Here. Get that bit filled up. Okay, how are we getting on? Contracts. 96. Okay. So looking at the model of the Axion that we have, it does have a DEF tank, but it looks like the mod is not enabled for DEF. Which is a shame. Oh, there we go, done. So that's a little bit of help for our bank account. Where's the edge of the field? Wow, that's a serious optical illusion. Two hedgerows combined to hide the exit. Anyway, we'll work our way down here and head back to the yard. Oh, I did download a new low loader, but I don't think I added it to the mod list for this map yet. But I want to switch the Goldhofer for the mod one that I've downloaded. It's a little shorter and possibly a little bit more usable. Load is on a ramp on the back rather than split the frame to put things on it. Have I made hay on seasons? Yes, many times. Ah, you have to watch the weather. We'll discuss that when we get back to the yard. Remind me. Initially, I mean, obviously step one is you don't want a wet crop when you're cutting. If you cut grass when it's wet, you end up with wet grass. And then you have to ted it, but you can't ted it while the ground is wet or while the crop is wet. If you do that, you still end up with wet grass. So the way to start off is either I could cut grass now, except there isn't any on the ground, and I would end up with dry grass. And dry grass is where you want to be to make your hay. So if it's not dry grass, you have to ted it. Then you have to leave it. And that can also be a problem. If you don't want, if you want grass, or you want to wrap grass for silage, or you want to take grass back to your silo, you have to get it wrapped or into a silage bunker very, very quickly, or it could turn into hay. And I had that happen on Old Stream Farm when I was doing a baling contract for silage, and I ended up with the grass that I'd cut turning into hay before I could get it wrapped, and that was a problem. Couldn't finish the contract. But ordinarily, okay, we'll take this back into... If I do any root crops, I'm going to put them back here in the corner, since this makes a good root crop storage. Don't know what all the tyres are there for, since it's not classed as a silage bunker. I can't really use it as such. Oops. There we go. And there we go. So that's the fertilizer contract. I'll put this back in the shed. I'm parking the Axion and Challenger in a row, since they are similar power, similar setup, so it doesn't matter which one I use. And next time I have them both out, I'll try and get the Challenger in at the back, so that the Axion gets a little bit more use. Looks like Challenger has the bigger tyre, bigger wheels. Anyway, so when you want to make hay seasons, you need the weather report. So currently we have bright sunshine. up until 9 o'clock tonight. I doubt that. And it's relatively good conditions for drying. Now, tomorrow morning from midnight through to 6 o'clock, almost no chance of drying. And then tomorrow, for the rest of the day, it's going to be nice and warm. It's going to be windy, 13 miles an hour. So this is good conditions for drying. If you get a double plus, it's excellent conditions for drying. So if I wanted to make hay, I kind of want to think about cutting the grass tomorrow morning, around about 9 o'clock. At the moment we do have, up at the top right, where it says early spring, I've got the 9 degrees air temp, 5 degree ground temp, and the sun. There's no wet crop icon, so we are good for cutting grass that's dry. And that's probably what we do. Where's the dog gone again? Dude, there he is. Why are you hiding in that bale of hay? Okay, anyway. Oh, there go the Spitfires. Cool. So it's 6 o'clock. I'm gonna guess I need to be upstairs before sleeping to work. Oh, and we can sleep, so it's 6 o'clock. Let's go 14 hours. We got nothing better to do. And everything's fairly cheap. Okay, so we have a cloudy day, and now we have a wet crop icon between the cloud and the temperatures. So the ground is wet at the moment, and that will be early morning dew. So we're not... I forgot to shut the door before I went to bed. Oh, man. Good job we're out in the wilds and nobody's around here. Hi, dog. I didn't want to get into the Land Rover. I just got into the Land Rover. Let's get out of the Land Rover and get out of there. You have no food. There's some food. I guess I do want to get in the Land Rover because we have stuff to check on. Okay. So I want to check up here, see what's what in the fields. Oh, the grass is growing. That's good. I'm actually surprised. I wasn't expecting the grass to be growing yet, but that's a good deal. And we have weeds on the grass field, so I'm going to have to bring the Valtra over here and deal with that this morning or later today. This grass is now getting to the point where you can harvest it. The oats are looking dirt-like, and I believe it's canola up here. It's also probably looking kind of dirt-like. Oh, we got more weeds in that field. Darn. Okay, so we're going to be doing a bunch of... Well, there's a thing. This is growing canola. That's awesome. Okay, well, that got established fast. check the other field at the back. So we can fertilise this field, except it's kind of a problem. Since it's grown once. It's a difficult turn, that. Well, at the speed I was going, that's a difficult turn. Okay, and this should be oilseed radish. Hasn't established yet, so okay, that's fine. Yeah. Where did I put my little flatbed trailer? I think we're gonna need to go to the store. So we have herbicide ready to go in the sprayer. I'll get onto that immediately. And that's possible as well, yes. Hay can turn, and as you saw on our weather report on this map, it was going to be warm until midnight and good drying conditions till midnight. So because of that, we could have left grass on the ground overnight, and potentially it would have been hay the next morning. The problem is the ground is then wet, so there is the possibility that you'll lose some of it. That's not a good thing. Okay, we need the Valtra, and oh, we've got some wool. Sheep are being productive. We forgot to check on the sheep. Okay. It's going to make turning out of here a little bit more tricky. I might make this the machine shop. Stick the tractors in here. It's a good sized barn. We have some spare batteries, so if anything gets too cold, we can jump start them. Okay, that does have herbicide in it. With that running, I'm going to run down here and have a check on the shed down here. We have the low load and we have the cattle truck. I want to sell the low loader, as I said. So where on earth is the flat trailer? I don't have a weight on this. I think I put a weight over here, didn't I? Nope. Oh, where did I put my spare weight? Right there. Okay, that should make things a little better. Check the sheep on the way back. It can dry within the matter of hours in the right conditions. That was the problem I had with the Old Stream farm. It was literally drying in 2 hours because it was warm, windy, and super ideal conditions for drying. So let's look back at the weather today. So again, we're still only on basic, it's good conditions for drying. It's not awesome conditions for drying, and I will be making hay rather than grass for the most matter, since with seasons grass doesn't last long until it decays. I could have done this as a full. Let's do it as a full. Okay. I'm going to spray the entire field so we just don't have a weed problem for the rest of the year. The boom because this field's a little uneven. Don't really want to end up smashing the boom into the ground. If it rains on hay, then the hay will disappear. Whether it's so there's 2 different rules on hay and straw. If you're playing on a map that is not prepared for seasons, then any hay that is in a loose condition will be destroyed when it rains. Any hay that is baled will not be destroyed. If you're playing on a map that is ready for seasons, which most of the more recent maps will be, if you leave hay outside of shelter, so in the field, in an open area like the area around the back that I said I'd probably store root vegetables in, it will decay. If you put hay in a building, it will not decay, whether it's loose or baled, and that's on a prepared map. So you always want to make sure that your bales are undercover. And I'm gonna guess the bales. I put the bales in the shed close to the house, so I'm gonna guess my trailer's there. I think my trailer's in there. Otherwise, we've lost it somewhere. Also, the other thing I did discover is it decays at the top of the hour. So if you want to carry a bale of hay to the sheep yard, to the sheep trough, feeding trough, then what you want to do is wait until a minute after. In this case, I would have to wait till a minute after 11 next. Grab the hay bale from under cover, nip out to the field and unload it into the sheep trough at that point, and it won't decay. If I pick it up at 5 minutes to 10 and it takes me more than 5 minutes to get to the sheep trough, some of the hay will disappear because it's out in the rain, which is an improvement over 17. When I played 17, the hay and straw would be destroyed in a loose state because it wasn't a seasons map at any point if it was raining. So it was basically, if it's raining, then decay. And so I had to be very careful doing a TMR mix when it was raining, because you could take a bale to the TMR mixer and no bad things would happen. But as soon as I dropped a hay bale into, or a straw bale into the TMR mixer, it would say, I have loose hay straw in a wagon. It needs to be, it needs to start decaying. So there's a little bit of leniency in FS19, but if you leave it out in the rain too long, it will all go away. If you leave hay on the field because you haven't collected it, or you haven't baled it and collected it, then it will get destroyed. So always put it under shelter, or put it in a building that's specially designed for it. So for example, the hay loft will take straw and hay. Let's not do that, let's turn that off for a sec. Silos, this thing here, it takes straw and hay loose. Anything in here is it will not be damaged by seasons, because seasons can't see it. So that's an option for loose. Stop. Try and push the right button, and off we go. Yes. So spraying herbicide on this should mean we don't get any weeds. I'm thinking this year, but it may be till next harvest, and I'm not sure grass counts as harvested. So it may sort out the weeds on this field permanently. Or it may not. It may only last until we cut it. Which for grass is a problem, because you cut it 3 times a year if you can. I don't know if I'll be able to cut this 3 times this year. In Farm Sim 17, if you planted grass in spring, it wouldn't be until late summer until it was ready to harvest for the first time. So since this has grown a stage, we could also fertilise this, although that may be a problem since we've already put down a liquid. We may have to wait until the next growth stage before we attempt to put fertiliser down here. So as you can see, the early morning dew has burnt off. We're now in dry crop conditions again. Swing that around that way, it's going to be quicker. And we should have a triangle up at this end of the field again. Right there. Is this boom wide enough to do all of this? Yeah. No. Okay. Sadly, the map does not show herbicide placement, so I haven't. All we know now is I think that field is fully done, but I can't look at the map and say, did I spread fertilizer contract on, or fertilizer on that field? So this field is almost Sorry, did I spray herbicide on that field? This field is almost fully fertilised, so we could run fertiliser over it. This is a bad amount of stuff. We've also got weeds over here as well. Ugh. This is going to be a fight this year, I think. And I don't think I've got enough herbicide to do this field. Don't think I've got enough to do all of that one either. Okay. It's a very low powered Valtra. It's only got 190 horsepower, so it is going to struggle at times on these roads. Bring this back in the yard. Gonna put it over here.